Commissioner Edwards? Commissioner
Right here,
Edwards?
I'm right here, sir. Been waiting. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. How you doing today?
Every day's a holiday, Doc. Thank you,
Good.
sir.
Good holiday.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna change places with you. I don't believe Ms. Boone will be with us this
No.
evening, right?
No, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're gonna call our meeting to order. It's a special call meeting so that we can discuss some things that we know that we need to discuss. It really was above my pay level. And I thought it would be good that our board will come in, board members, that you could ask any questions that you so desire about this that we are going to talk about the social services building. We do know that I have invited tonight chairman of our social services board. I've invited the members of that board to join us tonight in this discussion. This will be a discussion, and I wanted you all to be in the discussion because of the fact that it's dealing with the building which we house personnel with social services. And it wouldn't be that I will have you to have secondhand information, that you will have the information that we have, so that you'll see what it is we are about to do, what we must do to correct a problem. So tonight, let it not be anything that's hard. You know, these things come up, and we handle these things, but we must handle them in the appropriate way. So tonight that we do have with us the members of the persons who going to help us deal with this heating and cooling problem at our social services building. We do welcome tonight our social services director. Glad to have you to be a part of us and listening to us, that we can all come up with a conclusion of how we're going to move from now forward. I want to thank you, Bob, for staying over, working with me. For I am moving in directions that I've never moved in, but with your help, I can move with some assurance that I'm moving in the right direction. I need to say that to you. Thank you for all that you do. All the others that were with us tonight, Becky Turner, who's our interim water and everything else we need to take place and outside, and Anthony likewise, employee with us, and we've asked them all to come. So let me clear this meeting up. This meeting is for a clear understanding of what it is we need to do. It's there. The situation is there before us. We're not placing the fault on anybody but an air conditioner. They can't talk. Okay, air conditioners can't talk. Okay, so I want you to know we're coming in tonight to solve a problem that must be solved. We did note that we received letters from employees, someone, can't say employees, from someone talking about the condition of part of that building. Those letters concerned us because we don't want anybody working in a place that is not safe. As soon as I got the information, I turned it over to Becky. I think it was on a Sunday or Saturday. She wasn't even working. Tell her this is what we got to do. We want to thank you all for bringing it to our attention. We got on it as soon as we found out about it. It is disturbing to me that people would send a letter to Raleigh without sending a letter to me, to this board. Now, that is disturbing. If anything ugly about this is the fact that we have people working with us who believe that we will have them in that condition. So I just want you to know I That disturbs me because I am county manager and acting as chairman, and I just believe that we have an open door policy. That if anybody got anything that's wrong, you can bring it to our attention. That is disturbing. But you know, life is disturbing. So that's just another disturbing thing that's going on in our world today. So right now, I'm going to, board members, the information is coming to you. I've asked Becky to prepare the beginning statements of what we have going on. I'm going to allow you to ask her any questions that we need to ask so that you'll be clear in what it is that we have found in that building. And then what we got to do to eradicate it, to get rid of it. And we're not looking for a short term either. It's got to be long term. If we do anything, we ain't putting no band-aids over this. No other problems in our county, no band-aids. I don't believe that. I believe you got to take them off and you ought to let the sore heal. Okay? And this is the same thing with this and other situations. We don't believe in band-aid. What do we need to do to cure this problem, to solve it? And we're looking for, of course, the most economical way to solve this problem. But we have a responsibility to make sure that our county government and our people working for us are in the best of the environments. Becky, will you come forward now? Unless a board member has something else you want to add to it. Mr. Elks, anything you need to add to it?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Becky?
Thank you, Mr. Tyner.
Yes, sir.
Board and Tamika, Ms. Smallwood, thank y'all for being here and DSS board, and thank y'all so much for being here. To my left is Anthony Wheeler. Of course, he is the Buildings and Grounds Supervisor for the county. To his left is representatives from ServPro out of the Bath office, and it is John and Stephen from ServPro, and they have been most instrumental in trying to help fix the issue at DSS. When we went over there and discovered that the issue with the humidity in that part of the building on the left there, Anthony has been trying to figure this out and work on that for a while. And what he has been able to come up with SE&M is that the air conditioning units are designed for that building to be at full occupancy. And that building is not at full occupancy. It is about a 1/3 occupancy. So what that means and why it's important is that they are designed for a hot body to be in every office and every chair. And that's not the case. So there's not enough heat generating in the building to cause the air conditioners to run as they are designed to run. So that being said, when the air conditioners are not running, then the humidity in the room, in the air, is allowed to collect in that collective space, in that area. So Anthony was able to, with assistance, I'm assuming, he was able to devise a way to fix one of the units. There's 28 total air handling units at DSS. So one of the units, what they did was they took the internal thermostat out so that took it off of the control from the computer and made it a manual thermostat so that you would have to operate it by hand. Well, what that allowed to happen was by operating it by hand, it could cause you to turn the thermostat so low that the heat then would recognize that it needed to come on. So when the heat come on, of course, the air condition recognizes that the heat is, that the temperature is warmer and I need to work. And so it would allow the air conditioner to work as it was designed to do, to run the amount of time that they are designed to run. They're extremely over-engineered for the occupancy of the building now. So that fixed that one unit. And that, at that time, that was a cost of about $2,200. Now, that cost to do that for the other units, since that was a year ago, the cost now is about $3,200 per unit to have that done. And it requires taking the units off of the computer operation, so that you have to operate everything manually now. With that, there is a cost, of course, of running heat and air for 7 or 8 months out of the year, because the heat has to come on in order for the air conditioner to run. When the air conditioners are operating as they are designed to, they work great, and they would do what they're supposed to do. We just heard our air conditioning cut on. So, and I'm not an HVAC expert, okay? I have slept at a Holiday Inn Express, but I'm not an HVAC expert. So when the return comes on, it is drawing air through to get the temperature, and then the sensor just told this unit to cut off. So it is blowing the cold air from the condenser from the unit back through the ducts, out through the vents. Okay, so there's a return in every unit, and then there's vents in every unit. So by causing the heat in here, all of us people came in here and raised the temperature of this room. It told the air conditioning unit, you need to cut on, just like it did. And it cooled the air in here down, and so it cut off. And so that air exchange, receiving it through the return and then back through the vents, is what either spreads mold, mildew, and or keeps the humidity in the room at bay. Okay, because as the air is going through the return, you're sucking the air out, and that will keep the humidity as it should be. So that is the base problem. So when I called Stephen actually first at ServPro and asked him, you know, I need help. The SS needs help. They got bad problems. He came, I think, the next day and was able to give us an evaluation. And basically that evaluation was, this is above me. This is worse than I can fix myself. And so he called in John. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you have a doctor. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Hey, I'm his boss.
Okay, he's higher up the totem pole, okay? And so what they did initially was they came in and did air samples, took air samples throughout the entire DSS building. Miss Rhonda was there, and she took us places that we really didn't know about, you know, but kind of check here. And that mold report, that initial mold report, we have on hand, and I think Ms. Rhonda has a copy of that initial mold report. That is, it was quite extensive actually. And it did show that there was mold of various kinds, and in that mold report that Ms. Rhonda has, it explains each type that was found and where it was found. And John I'm sure can explain these, the report much better than I could. So when we did that initial report, that day that John came, they took the air samples, he brought in about 50 units. He brought in about 20 dehumidifiers and 30 air scrubbers. And the dehumidifiers do what they think you do, they dehumidify. The air scrubber was something new to me. And what the air scrubbers do is they turn over the volume of air in a room or in an area about every 4 hours. And by turning that air over, the air is drawn into the unit. It is filtered, purified, and gone out. Okay, so it doesn't create a vacuum or anything, but it does clean the air, and it is also good for COVID-19 cleaning. It is accepted for cleaning for COVID-19 as well as mold. So he brought those units in and was able to get those units in that day and get them in operation that day. And that is what you see on invoice 1. That is included in that invoice 1 for 59,041.84. And those units are, some of them have been removed.
Have you?
Yeah, but there's, okay. And so those units are still there, in operation, and Ms. Rhonda can probably attest to that. But I know that in the first day, the dehumidifiers brought down that one area from 96% down to 55%, I think it was. And so obviously, the humidity is the issue. That is the major issue. So that's where we are right now. So what I've committed the county to so far is $59,000, $59,041.84. That's what I have committed the county to, and am afraid they're going to make me pay for it. And I'm hoping that the county is not going to make me pay for it. But I did agree to it. Okay. So Rhonda, you may have to take me to raise or something. Okay. So in addition to that, John had called me one afternoon, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon, and he said that with the mold report, with what was there, that there were additional things that needed to go on, that needed to happen in order to clean the entire building.
Yeah, I wanted to give you all I'm sorry. I want her to give you all a copy so y'all can see you that listening. You can't keep all this stuff in mind. There's a copy right there. Okay.
And I think, Ms. Rhonda, I think you have that as well.
Oh, we need-
I got one.
We got one.
I gave it to him.
So those are three different.
That's all the information they have. So it's one copy. It's one copy of everything they have.
Yeah, everything is just one copy of everything. I wouldn't.
Make a recommendation.
Yeah, this is, and
I do a pop.
okay, but this first email, this is what we have done. This is to date, what has been done. And they've also cleaned, they cleaned part of the area on here, part of this area right here. So they did, and that invoice at 59,041.84, that does include part of that cleaning. So that's where we are today, right now. And actually, I talked to John one time today, and then within literally moments, he called back and he said, well, we had done additional air samples, and the mold report had come back today, this afternoon, that there was mold in a different area that we didn't think about, didn't know about. And so he had done some additional sampling at Ms. Rhonda's request. And so that came back as being positive for mold. So that changed the cost, of course, of the invoice number 2. If you see invoice number 2. Right, this is actually, this is invoice number 1. This is invoice number 1. So John, you can probably, without me reading it, you can probably explain what this invoice number 2 is going to entail. If you don't mind.
Invoice number 1 is what we've done up to this point, which includes cleaning one of the blocks that was the heaviest with the mold. Invoice number 2 includes that plus cleaning the other 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks that are also have the heavy mold and the cleaning of the HVAC unit. Invoice number 3 would include all of that plus fogging all the areas that did not show up as needing to be thoroughly cleaned. It's a mold fog. It would take care of everything that's in the air. I deal with, I do mold at least once a week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. But Stephen works out of the Roanoke Rapids office. And he called me up and he goes, "You've got to come and see this. You're not going to believe these readings." And so I came the next day. In order to grow mold, all you have to do is add water. If you added water to this room by a water pipe breaking or something like that, and you didn't hire somebody like us to come in and dry it out, the mold is going to start to grow on the wood. That's liquid water. But if you have gas water, relative humidity, like if you took a shower and it was steaming, that's another kind of water, and it will add, it'll grow mold. If a room is over 60% relative humidity and you turn the air conditioner off, it's going to start growing mold. If there's no wind, if there's no airflow, it's going to start growing mold within 2 or 3 days. And we have colleges, high schools that somebody cuts the air conditioner off in the kitchen or something like that, and they come back 2 months later and the whole thing's black. In this case, what Stephen found was when you walk in the front door and the whole left side of the building, back 2/3 of the way back, the slab is at 95%. Unbelievable. Almost can't even imagine how that happens. But the air, the relative humidity was 95 to 97%. 100% is when it starts to rain. Okay, so the air was as wet as it could possibly be. When you got toward the back, toward the administration type offices, you could literally notice it. It was a drier feeling. It wasn't like you were in a room where somebody had just taken a shower. And the heaviest mold is exactly where the wet areas are. The air conditioner, the relative humidity coming out of the air conditioner was 97%. That is a faulty air conditioner. Now, I know that Becky's talked about adding heat or whatever. I'm not an air conditioner expert, but that's the cause. It's the air conditioner. If I was to go and clean all the mold, to get rid of all the mold, and the air conditioner is not fixed, it will come back. Now there's mold in all the air conditioning vents. They all need to be cleaned, but also the innards of the coils and all that. There's especially in the main section, there's a tremendous amount of mold in it. So it's all got to be cleaned. And have any other questions? I will tell you this: as soon as the heat comes on, the relative humidity in that air conditioner will go down to 50%. There will be no more mold growth because it will be dry. If you want to get rid of mold, get the air dry. It will happen by itself when the heat comes on. But unless the air conditioner is fixed next spring, it will start to grow again.
Not the air conditioning, man. So you can't fix that.
I'm not licensed. You can install dehumidification in the air conditioning unit. That will fix the problem. But it's also possible that something's wrong with with air conditioning to begin with to be getting that high of a number. An average air conditioner, 60%. And it does, the longer it runs, the lower it gets. But 60% is about what you usually see. To see basically 100% coming out of the vent is a really high number. Now, the reason that we had the dehues in there, when we walked into those rooms, all of those rooms, every single one of them where the mold is over 90%. And there's several little dehumidifier readings. What do you call those things? I don't know, not thermostat. Yeah, the hygrometers, and the ones in all these different rooms were reading about 90%, 95%. And we've got the more expensive hygrometers, and they were roughly reading the same thing. You know, every single room that had the mold, basically 95%. So the dehumidifiers, they knock it down. So as long as the dehumidifiers are in there, the mold cannot grow. But what has to be done is that the air conditioning systems have to be cleaned because they're just regenerating mold again and again. Every time you got to clean it all out of the system. And when we do that, we spray it with an antimicrobial, which keeps the mold from growing for about 60 days. And as long as, you know, correct the dehumidification, it's not going to return.
Anthony, what's about the air conditioners? Tell us anything about the units? Are they the ones that came with the building? Been there since the building been there?
Yes, sir. They were the ones that were originally installed in the building.
Have we had problems with this before this time? Air conditioners?
We had one area in the finance area of the building that was complaining of a lot of air was very humid. So we talked to SEM and they came with a circuit board and put a thermostat that measures humidity as well as temperature. If the air conditioner is required to run, it will run. But if the humidity did not get above 50%, heat will not come on. But if that humidity gets above 50%, then that heat strip that they had moved into it will come on and dehumidify the air at the same time the air conditioner runs. That is a process that we are looking at trying to do in that front two section of DSS. HB 26 and HB 21 is the process of doing the same thing for those. But I have not gone any further as far as doing the whole building because we're looking at trying to see if there's any other way that we can dehumidify without having to do that to all the buildings. So at this time, they are going to do HP 21 and 26. Then he's checking with the engineer on whether we can take the biggest unit and maybe tie the two ducts from the big unit and little unit because each bay has two units controlling that area. One unit controls the outside walls, one unit controls the inside of that cubicle area. So that's what they're in the process of trying to see if we can combine the ductwork, if that will affect the pressure or negative pressure through the duct system, and will it be able to run enough to keep everybody cool as well as take the humidity out. And SEM is working on that to let me know what we can do with that.
When the equipment is supposed to let you know?
He was going to call. I talked to him last week. He was trying to get in touch with an engineer, and we may need to bring an engineer in to look at the duct system to see if that can be done. Or he's also going to look into the dehumidification and tell me an estimated cost of what it would cost to put dehumidifiers in, as well as doing what we did to finance, putting the circuit board and taking it off the computer system and putting regular individual thermostats that will read humidity. If it shows that the humidity is at above 50%, then when the air is running, it automatically runs the heat strips. If it gets above 50% without the air conditioning, it automatically come on and dehumidify the air as well.
There is no way, I let the other board members. Maybe I should. Cost of the building and size. Cost of the building and size. Would it be that we need to not use part of the building? I don't know nothing about this. I'm just asking a question. So if it seems stupid, I am about this, okay?
Well, I think you're gonna run into the situation if you shut down part of the building, then you're gonna go back to that section is gonna sit down, not run, and the mold is gonna probably come back.
How about, I keep hearing y'all saying the heating unit, then the cooling unit. How the world we gonna pay the light bill?
Well, I mean, well, the unit has multiple heat strips in it. They're not using all of them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I believe they're only using one. I think the units are set up with maybe a 15,000 kW heat strip, and they're probably only using 5 kWs of it to take the humidity out.
So basically, what I hear you all saying, we need to get an expert in here on the air conditioning units. That's what we need.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing. None of you all are experts on air conditioning.
We had an engineer come in earlier and gave us some ideas, and I've been trying to find that email. But one of them was to change the speeds of the fan motors to make them run slower so they would run longer. And we did that on 2 or 3 units, and it did not make a difference. And then this circuit board that will take it to run a heat strip to do the humidity, we did that on 1 unit, and that helped that area. And you can definitely tell when you hit that area, the air is a lot different. And of course, the third, if I remember correctly, the third option was a dehumidification system for the whole building. And we haven't got to that point, but I think we're getting there.
In another area, in another form of my life, having an issue very similar to this, and it was the heat strip was the recommendation from the HVAC company, so that it could dry out the moisture instead of the moisture staying there. So if you have some things already installed, it's just a matter of putting those things to proper use. But again, having it done the right way instead of bypassing pieces. Sometimes when you start bypassing the pieces, you start creating more issues for yourself that you got to kind of go back and backtrack. But a proper, my belief is that a proper heating and air company to determine how to get those appropriate number of heat strips operating to dry that air out. So it is like the cold air comes on, creates that condensation. The heat strip comes on to dry that condensation. That's layman's term, kind of dry the air a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
So it keeps doing that back and forth play. And a lot of times we think, oh, it just got hot in here, but it's the air conditioner really doing what it's supposed to do, to keep the air kind of going back and forth instead of just keeping it on full blast or then turn around and having to manually do the heat. Our people need that automatic kind of piece there, so.
And I don't know if this is a factor either, and I mean, there's nothing you can do about that part, but your ductwork is in an attic. You just will say an attic space above the ceiling. And of course, we all know that the attic is the hottest place. So the air in that, going through that duct coming cold and hitting that hot attic could, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, help some of that, create some of that humidity issues, because the air is cooling a whole lot faster. It has to cool that whole ductwork. And then it'll, when heat and cold mixes, it sweats.
Okay. With the 59,000 we already obligated for, how long will that last us? No time?
They haven't been cleaned.
We gotta clean all these places, it's gonna cost $500,000.
No, sir. No,
Can happen.
the number
I'm
one,
getting nervous.
the number one invoice for the 59,000.
Okay,
That includes the cleaning that we've done and all the equipment that's there now and all the mold testing. Number two is not $210,000 more. It already includes that 59,000 in the 210. You're right, 230. The 230,000 is to go and to take a special kind of vacuum cleaner and vacuum all the walls, all the floor, everything to get the spores out. That's the only way to get the spores out. And to mold fog those rooms. And when we mold fog, it would be just like somebody was taking a shower. You couldn't see that door. And it completely knocks down all the mold spores in the air. And then you wipe everything off again. So that room is clean at that point. The only difference between number 2 and number 3 is for to fog the rest of the building, but not to do all that HEPA vacuuming. Because the rest of the building came back clean. And where the heat strips were, that was some of the cleanest air in the building. It's where the relative humidity is high that you have the difference. So number 2 does include the cleaning of the HVAC systems, the cleaning of all the walls and desks and floors of all the areas, the blocks that have come up on the mold test as having a problem with the mold spore count. And number 3 is doing all that work that's done in number 2, plus the fogging of like the lobby. The lobby tested fine, but we can go ahead and fog the entire building for that additional $30,000 and wipe the entire building down. That's a little bit overkill, but if anybody ever looked at this and said, what have you done? In this case, you've done everything. Number 2 is everything you're supposed to do. Number 3 is above and beyond.
So it's option 1, option 2, option 3 versus
Option 1.
invoices.
Option 1 is you tell me you don't need my services anymore.
I'm feeling better. I tell y'all, my heart was aching. I want to give up and go on. Oh, man.
So option two, I would think you have done everything that legally anybody could say you needed to do. You have taken care of the areas that had the mold. Number 3, you have gone above and beyond that, and you just fogged the entire building and wiped the entire building down. But the total of all of that work, if you did it all, is the $263,001. Now, my equipment, I have not charged any, I stopped charging for my equipment as of today. Now that equipment's fairly expensive. It's probably about $5,000 a day. My thought was, I'm not going to charge you more for the equipment. I'm going to leave it in there until it gets to be wintertime or you get your air conditioner fixed. So the equipment, which is scrubbing the air and bringing the humidity down to the point where mold cannot grow anymore, there's no further charge for it, and it's in there as long as you need it.
I'm looking.
So after we do all of that, what's the possibility?
Let me answer that, because what we got to do, we got to get the heat man in there. And the heat man, this does include what the heat man's going to tell us they got to do, putting the strips in there, like Vice Chair said.
Also, removing any porous materials like those
Chairs.
chairs and things like that.
Got
So
to
we
go.
have to, as a board, we also know we have to replace furniture and we have to put some things in the dump. So there's a cost associated with the removal for us unless you all are removing it. But we have to pay to put things in the dump and then replacing those things that cannot be cleaned.
This can be cleaned. This would be cleaned
Right,
automatically.
but there's some fabric,
A
yeah, there are some
fabric
fabric things in
chair,
there, yes.
by every standard, is supposed to be
Yes.
gotten rid of. Now, the
Don't
reality
bring mold
is,
into a clean environment.
right, the reality is the fabric chair will never grow mold again as long as it never gets above 60% relative humidity. But you've got a chair that's completely full
Absolutely.
of roots and all that stuff. So you basically take it and throw it out. We have no problem doing that, taking it out of the building when we do our cleaning, but it would have to be replaced. And we are cleaning this chair, we're cleaning this desk, but the upholstered part, we're not.
So the items that you can clean remain. Items that you cannot clean, remove. So what do we need to have in place in order for that removal? Do we need to have a dumpster already there? Do you provide the dumpster? How does that say? I'm getting into the weeds because we got to get into the weeds. We're talking about the money because it's going to be a cost and we don't want to be surprised.
We can furnish a trailer dump truck and just take it down to our landfill and then they just put it in the dump boxes that. You know, that they-
We can have them deliver a container at DSS and directly load there.
And the tile work,
Tiles are staying.
the tiles are staying.
Yes, the ceiling's staying. Historically, all spars are not on the ceiling. They come down.
Okay.
So the walls and the floor is what we're taking care of.
President, yes,
So,
come on.
I know the tower was saying, but last night's storm, we have leaks now. I didn't do it. We got a lot of leaks.
Well, honey, I'm doing
Outside
good.
Finance,
So it's
I have
a
pictures
roof
of it.
issue.
I'm getting ready to send, it, and I'm sorry.
Okay, I understand.
It's not, it's only in, it's like, it's in. Yeah, that should be filed on the insurance. Insurance should take.
I don't have anything yet.
I just, right, 'cause it just happened last night, and I went through the building.
The reason why I asked because you know, y'all in another life, I've seen the tiles that come off the ceiling and it's a lot of mold on the back of those tiles. And then when the air is traveling through, you still have that mold and it all depends on what caused it. So a leak, a small leak could have been an issue, then it's on the tile. So I know we don't like to hear that, but I don't want to do one thing and think you fixed it and then the unseen is up there. So an inspection of those to make sure that there is no mold growing, especially in areas where I see those water spots, make sure that there's no mold growing there.
And some of them were, like I said, those water spots, but we have like, where our budget person works, with safe and all that stuff is, just like 2 houses just full, it looks like that all day.
And it's a water issue, which can cause a mold issue.
Let me, yes, sir, you
You
start.
mentioned insurance.
Yeah.
I worked on many jobs where they had something from the HVAC man stating that the air conditioner had malfunctioned and it's completely covered.
Okay, we got it. We already looked into that, sir. We got you. I want to ask any board members of DSS have any questions? Chairman, do you have any questions? Any of y'all have any questions that you all want to ask about? Yes, sir.
First of all, good afternoon to everybody, and thank y'all for actually inviting us to be a part of this meeting. And on behalf of the board and the director, I just like to say that we appreciate everything that y'all do that need to be done and that kind of thing. And we just really found out that we had a problem. I've been on the board ever since we opened that building, and it's the first time that we come up with anything like this, you know, as far as mold or anything like that. So And we do have the largest agency in the county. We got, well, over 70 people that we got employed down there. So safety is a big concern. And we just want to thank you for actually working with it and doing what's necessary to to get things together. And I guess I'll leave something else for another thing. We do actually see cracks. And
I'm gonna talk about that next, yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that next.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
All right. So, but anyway, again, we just want to thank y'all for inviting us, and we gonna do everything as a board that we can do to make sure that whenever anything happens to this magnitude or anything that we need to, we're gonna make sure it happens. So thank y'all.
Thank you, thank you. We really do appreciate you. Appreciate you coming. We wanted you to hear the story. So just like,
Hey,
just,
this is your call.
yes,
Zoom,
Edwards.
so- What's up?
Mr. Edwards,
Yes, sir.
go on and say what you were saying. We're in and out.
Okay.
Still in
What
and
I was, I'm sorry. Go, I'll come back later. I just need to walk to another area, okay?
Okay, thank you. Now, we got board members. We can't conclude this tonight. At least we know what the problem is with this mode. Board members, we have no choice but $59,041. We really don't have much of a choice other $230, $230,000 or $263,000. But what I'd like to do is to Monday, if we could have a report from the persons who gonna repair the air conditioner, so that we can get a total. Okay, and the reason I want the total is because if we're gonna do anything for reimbursement, then we need the total. Okay? So what I'm saying, board members, if Circle, if you telling us we'll be all right to Monday,
Well, I don't want to put words in their mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, but, if we were to stop today, and that's what we're paid through today, if we were to stop today, it is my opinion that building would not be saved until the entire scope of work was performed by Servco. And I just think it's that dire. And so the work that is projected to be done would only give us about 60 days to get the air conditioner fixed. He said he would leave the dehumidifiers. So if we were to do this work, that, and I'm recommending the entire building not to waste money, but so that we can say we've done everything possible, not only
Yeah, we
for
got
our
to do that.
employees, but for our people. Then that building would be clean. And Johnny said that he would leave the dehumidifiers in place. And then that would prevent the humidity from rising again. But, I realize we need a total cost, but at the same time, I think we're pushed for time and whether to act on this session.
Okay, Chairman Turner,
yes.
I would like to see us, and Monday is a holiday, so we don't have a board meeting Monday, but I would like to see us move forward with this component. And then, because if we're gonna do a claim, you're not gonna get everything fixed. If the tree fell on your house and your car, you're gonna get one person to do your house and another person to do your car, and you just file all of them you open the claim and then as you get the things going, I think we'll be, I have respiratory issues myself, and I understand the health nature of this, and I know we're gonna do it. And if we know we're bound by doing what's right,
We're gonna do
we
what's
can go ahead on and do this part and let them go ahead on and get their work done, and then be working on the other piece with the air. That's, because I think you got everything.
okay. Board members, what I hear, Vice Chair saying that we need to go on, not keep our workers thinking that they're working in an unsafe place. That we need to go on and give them a contract for the 200 and I don't know whether it's 63 or the 30, which one y'all want, do the 63, get it all done? I say, let's do 63. Let's, I mean, and that's what I'm hearing. Mr. Evans, do you hear anything any different? Before we call.
I'm hearing everything loud and clear. Just how many folks bidded on this job?
We ain't had no,
We didn't have but one, but based on General Statute 143, 129E2, construction and repair and emergency, public health and safety. And you know, I'm a 3-bid person. You know,
Yeah,
I
know
like
y'all,
that.
Mr. Chairman.
But,
And I
they're
am too.
They're exempt from the competitive bidding in this situation. So the use of that exemption, it's a limited situation and it involves an immediate or imminent threat to public health and safety, which this is the case for this one. I know there are many other people out there that do the job, but this company was called to start the process. And I think for the safety of these, I don't know if you've seen your packet or not.
Definitely I have, Madam Vice Chair.
did you understand what the Vice Chair said?
I did, yes, sir. I said, she asked me, did I see my packet? I said, yes, I did. That's what I
Okay.
said.
All right,
Yes,
but
thank you,
did-
Madam Vice Chair.
Okay, so she's discovered the law, she's got the law here, and we'll be right in moving where we need to be. But I need to ask our finance person, who everybody talking to now, trying to get it right too. We ain't going to jail. Finance, if we were to do this, where would we take the monies from? Fund balance. This money will come from fund balance if we were to do it. And we'll be ready to move on it tomorrow. No problem. We'll move on it. Am I right?
You're right.
I mean,
Okay.
we've done a
Have a
great
motion.
job with trying to increase tax revenue and get everything in. And if we don't keep our people safe, what
Won't
good
be
is all
here.
the money in the bank? It means nothing. So I'd like make a motion. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, this is all very, so I prepared a proposed emergency resolution.
Okay.
Um,
So we want to approve the resolution first. and then-
if you can read it first, it's short, but,
All right, I got my good glasses on today. Whereas the Northampton County Board of Commissioners has been made aware of a mold contamination issue in the Department of Social Services, maybe I need to put my other glasses on, building located at 9588 NC Highway 305, Jackson, North Carolina. And whereas the board finds that the mold contamination constitutes a case of special emergency involving public health and safety, thereby exempting the cost of the construction and repair work associated with the mold remediation from the competitive bidding requirements as allowed under North Carolina General Statute 143, 129E2. Now therefore be it resolved that the Northampton County Board of Commissioners does hereby appropriate from fund balance and award the bid to Serve Pro of Roanoke Rapids in the amount of $263,266.63 on an emergency basis to remediate the mold contamination located at the Department of Social Services building. Further resolved that Charles R. Tyner Sr. in his capacity as interim manager is authorized to execute a contract for such services with Serve Pro of Roanoke Rapids after legal approval from the county attorney. This the 30th day of August 2021.
I have a second.
Second Buffalo.
Moving proper second that we would accept the resolution that's given to us by our vice chair and approved by our attorney. Are there any questions in the discussion? If not, all in favor, let known by usual sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Faulkner,
Mr. Edwards.
I'm here, Mr. Chairman.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you, board members. Thank you, attorney. Thank all of you for being with us and helping us through this situation. Now, let's talk about the next step. The next step. We're gonna ask you, Anthony, and we're gonna ask you, likewise, Ms. Turner, to please have the people to come down and check the air conditioning. I believe you got the company that's installed the air conditioning. Am I right? You don't? It's another company we've used before.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
can you please get us 3 different ones, or at least more than one, to come in?
Okay.
And that's a general procedure that we try to use is for multiple. But we can't wait, so, but if you can get them to come in on the AC part.
If you can, if you can't, we'll move, because we're not gonna, stop this process because of it. But if you can, we would certainly appreciate it. So that's what we're waiting for you to give us. And board members, as soon as I receive it, I'll talk to the finance folks and we'll talk and we'll come up with how we're gonna take care of this too. I promise you, it will be taken care of. It will be taken care of. To those of Social Services Board, I want you to know it will be taken care of. As of tomorrow, from now on, it will be taken. Whenever you see anything of that nature, please let us know. The next problem that we talked about this building is about
steps that's going to entail for us to do.
HVAC cleaning is a big part. They can start Wednesday morning. HVAC cleaning and the mold cleaning has to be done at the same time to keep from recontaminating. They're starting Wednesday, and I'll have my men there doing the same sections cleaning. They are not working Thursday. They're coming back Friday, and we're working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we will be finished by Monday night. We might finish Sunday night, but we would need the building basically
there she go.
Wednesday morning.
There she go.
We would come Wednesday morning, and on Wednesday morning, we're only going to do the main areas here. So the reality is people can be in the rest of the part of the building, but when we're doing the fogging here, at that time, somebody could walk in or something, that would be a problem. Right, so that's going to kind of be your response, but we'll have to work on that together. But certainly come Friday morning, it would be best if nobody's in the.
I tell you what I want y'all to do. Y'all work that out, please. And we need not discuss that here. All the logistics of that ought to be worked out with you all, okay? In that building. Thank you, okay? We appreciate it. The other problem in that building is about the cracks in the building. I tell you, social services, Anthony, what we probably need to do, let's get this air conditioning right first. Okay, because it probably will break us if somebody don't help us. But at any rate, what we're gonna do, we'll then look at that building and we'll look at where the cement is selling in that building, where the walls are coming apart. We need to look at that likewise. And we'll look at that immediately after we look at making sure this is correct. Again, the social services building is our building. Social services building belongs to Northampton County. We looked that up, and social services building was built with borrowed money. State helping us pay for it. The other part, we're paying for it locally. And what we want to do is make sure that we do all we can to preserve that building, along with all other buildings. We can always talk about the workmanship. That workmanship ain't, that's just wasting our breath. All the warranties and everything is over. So let's make the best of it and let's move forward. That's what we need to do. So we'll be looking, Social Services Board, we'll be looking at your entire building, those cracks and things that's going on in that building that need to be fixed. Let's do it. It's like your house. I hate to be but it's like your house. If you keep on letting things break down, you will have a broke down house. But if you repair them a little all along, then, you know,
Generation.
that's right, exactly. So keep us informed when things happen. This one kind of jumped on us. We didn't know it, but please keep us informed. Anthony, keep us informed, not only of this building, all of our buildings, okay? Keep us informed, because we really want to keep up our facilities. Okay, that's what I have on there. Are there any other questions, any other discussion on this DSS building? Any others? You know, we say in the church, all hearts and minds clear, but we ain't in there. But anything anybody want to say about that, please let us know. All of you know we're going to end our meeting, and we're going into a closed session for just a few minutes. We're going to end our meeting tonight with one more item that has happened to our community, to one of our citizens. We do know Robert Carter, who was our chair of this Board of Commissioners. Robert worked in our county as commissioner for 20, might be a little over 20 years. He passed on yesterday, and we want to say to his family, we appreciate him and we appreciate all the work that he did for the county. I'm now in that position. Where I got my information from was not from a college book, or not even from Chapel Hill. I got this presiding from Carter. Carter was the presider. And I got a lot of the things that I do in presiding, I got it from Robert Carter. So at this time, we would like to have a proclamation in honor of a member of Robert Vernon Carter. And I'd like for it to be read now, but I can't read. Will you read that for me? Thank you.
I like to say a few words, not many, but when I first started on the board, Mr. Carter made it a point to say, this will not be easy. It might look easy, but it will not be easy. And he's correct, hard work and heart. But he showed us that you have to put in the time to make the county move in the direction in which you would want to see it move. So I would like to read this proclamation. Northampton County Board of Commissioners proclamation in honor and memory of Robert Vernon Carter. Whereas the citizens of Northampton County lost a dedicated public servant with the death of Robert Vernon Carter on August 29th, 2021. Whereas Mr. Carter was elected and served for 20 years on the Northampton County Board of Commissioners, including several years in which he served as chair of the board. And whereas Mr. Carter was universally respected by his fellow board members and employees and citizens of Northampton County for his leadership and tireless work ethic on behalf of the county. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Northampton County Board of Commissioners respectfully honors the life and memory of Robert Vernon Carter and expresses sincere sympathy and condolences to the entire Carter family during this time of great personal loss. Be it further proclaimed that the board expresses on behalf of the citizens of Northampton County deep appreciation and gratitude for the gifts of time, ability, and commitment given by Robert Vernon Carter in representing the interests of Northampton County on the Board of Commissioners. This, the 30th day of August 2021. Charles R. Tyner, Senior, Chair, Northampton County Board of Commissioners.
I have a second that we would adopt this resolution.
Second Buffalo.
Moved and properly second that we would adopt this resolution on behalf of Robert Carter, who was the chairman of our county commissioners, who worked in the school system of Weldon, who was born and raised in Galatia. We would certainly remember and thank God for his work. Are you ready for your question? Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by usual sign aye.
I Buffalo.
I Faulkner.
Hi, Edwards.
Our time, our ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you so much. At this time, thank you all for coming and sharing with us. We've got this matter clear. When we go out, we can tell folks it is cleared up. Please inform that your employees and social services that this matter has been resolved and we are moving forward. If anybody got any questions about the quality of air, please give them that report that you have received, because in that report, it will show that it was not dangerous. So I just want to make sure that you give that to our employees. If nothing else claiming our attention at this time, can I have a motion that we go into closed session? Closed session at the bottom of your
I
agenda.
make a motion that we go into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143, 318, 11A6 Personnel, A3 Attorney-Client Privilege, and A4 EDC Report.
Can I have a second?
Second Buffalo.
Second by Buffalo, we go into closed session. Any question and discussion? All in favor, let known by you sign aye.
I Buffalo.
I Faulkner.
Hi.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you all for attending. We didn't keep you long. We'll be talking with you all tomorrow, the next day. We're gonna